もう僕たちどうしたらいいのかわからないっていう日々だったと思うんですけど、そうやって歌からエネルギーをもらえたこと、本当にありがたかったですね。
本当にいつもすごく助けられていました。もう心の底からもうすごく感謝をしています。本当にありがとうございました。
いつも素敵な音楽を本当にありがとうございます。これからもRikuRyuは全力で。
Have you ever seen Olympic champions break down in tears over something that had nothing to do with winning a gold medal? That's exactly what happened when Riku Miura and Ryuichi Kihara appeared on a Japanese television special, leaving viewers across the country stunned. This wasn't another story about record-breaking performances, flawless lifts, or standing on top of the Olympic podium. Instead, it became a deeply personal story about loneliness, hope, music, and the unexpected power a single song can have during life's darkest moments. Behind every gold medal is a journey the audience never sees, and behind every champion is a person who quietly fights battles away from the spotlight. For Riku Miura, one of those battles unfolded thousands of miles from home during the COVID-19 pandemic, when uncertainty seemed endless and even stepping onto the ice became impossible. What she revealed that day transformed a simple television interview into one of the most emotional moments of her career. When she finally explained what had carried her through those difficult years, the atmosphere inside the studio changed completely. Before anyone realized what was happening, tears replaced smiles, and the audience witnessed a side of the Olympic champion that had never been shown so openly before. Looking back, this moment carried an emotional weight entirely different from watching her win Olympic gold. During competitions, Riku has always appeared composed, careful with her words, and remarkably professional whenever reporters asked difficult questions. She knew exactly how to answer without revealing too much, maintaining the calm image expected from an elite athlete. But this time was different. Speaking about music rather than competitions seemed to unlock emotions she had quietly carried for years. The polished athlete disappeared, revealing someone speaking straight from the heart, and those honest words resonated with viewers in a way that no medal ceremony ever could. To truly understand why this moment became so unforgettable, it's important to first look at where it happened. On July 4, 2026, Japanese television aired one of its biggest annual summer music specials, a live event lasting more than 9 hours and featuring 65 artists from across the country. The program celebrated music as more than entertainment, presenting songs as stories that connect generations, inspire memories, and bring people together regardless of age or background. While the event focused primarily on musicians, one unexpected appearance immediately caught the attention of sports fans. Fresh off their historic Olympic gold medal and now retired from competitive skating, Riku Miura and Ryuichi Kihara appeared in a special video interview discussing the role music had played throughout their skating careers. At first, everything seemed perfectly ordinary. The hosts asked thoughtful questions about how figure skaters choose music, how choreography develops around different melodies, and how performances are shaped by emotional interpretation. Anyone familiar with figure skating expected the conversation to remain centered on technical preparation, artistic choices, and the creative process behind championship programs. After all, throughout their competitive careers, Riku and Ryuichi had often explained how they selected music alongside choreographers, balancing artistic expression with technical demands. It seemed like another routine interview. But then everything changed. When Riku began answering one seemingly simple question about music, the conversation quietly shifted in a direction no one expected. Instead of discussing choreography or competition, she began reflecting on one of the most painful periods of her life. Looking back, it almost feels as though that innocent question had unknowingly unlocked memories she had kept hidden for years. Whether the producers anticipated what would happen remains unknown, but the result was extraordinary. A straightforward discussion about music suddenly became a heartfelt confession about fear, isolation, and survival. That unexpected transition became the emotional turning point of the entire broadcast. As Riku continued speaking, she revealed that one of the artists who had supported her emotionally was the Japanese band Ryokuoushoku Shakai. At first, viewers likely assumed she was simply mentioning one of her favorite groups. Ryuichi joined the conversation with a smile, joking that they shared the same hometown region, making him feel an extra connection to the band. His light-hearted comment briefly kept the mood relaxed, but beneath the laughter, something much deeper was about to emerge. Ryokuoushoku Shakai had already earned widespread recognition for their distinctive sound, blending powerful vocals with emotionally rich songwriting that connected with audiences across Japan. Their songs had appeared in television dramas, films, and anime, gradually building a loyal fan base through heartfelt lyrics and memorable melodies. Yet none of that prepared viewers for what Riku revealed next. She explained that during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, she and Ryuichi were unable to return to Japan from their training base in Canada. Travel restrictions, closed borders, and uncertainty left them stranded far from family and friends. Even worse, skating rinks were closed, preventing them from practicing the sport that defined their lives. For figure skaters, losing access to the ice isn't simply an inconvenience. It means losing the very place where they express themselves, build confidence, and prepare for their dreams. Suddenly, the foundation of everything they had worked toward disappeared. Riku admitted there were many days when she felt overwhelmed and emotionally exhausted. She couldn't skate, couldn't return home, and had no idea when life would return to normal. During those incredibly lonely months, she found comfort in music. Those few words completely changed how many viewers saw her. Instead of the fearless Olympic champion who always appeared strong under pressure, they now saw a young woman facing the same uncertainty millions of people experienced during the pandemic. She wasn't talking about victory or medals anymore. She was talking about simply getting through one day at a time. Then she revealed the song that became her emotional lifeline, Meila, by Ryokuoushoku Shakai. Released during the early months of the pandemic, the song became much more than another popular hit for her. While audiences connected with its uplifting energy, Riku experienced it on an entirely different level. Alone in Canada, separated from home and unable to train, its lyrics and powerful melody gave her something she desperately needed: hope. Although she never analyzed every lyric in detail during the interview, the sincerity in her voice made one thing unmistakably clear. This wasn't background music playing during workouts. It became emotional support during one of the darkest chapters of her life. Thinking back to those months paints an unforgettable picture. Riku and Ryuichi had formed their partnership in 2019 before relocating to Oakville, Ontario, to train with world-class coaches. Adjusting to life overseas already required enormous sacrifice, from adapting to a different culture and language to living far away from loved ones. Then, almost overnight, the pandemic changed everything. Borders closed, flights were canceled, skating facilities shut down, and uncertainty became part of daily life. While the world watched alarming headlines unfold, the pair remained in Canada, isolated from home with no clear timeline for when things would improve. For athletes whose entire identity revolves around training on the ice every single day, losing that routine can feel like losing a part of themselves. In those quiet moments, surrounded by uncertainty and far from everything familiar, one song became the steady reminder that brighter days could still exist, even when the future remained impossible to see. For elite athletes, every day away from training feels like time slipping through their fingers. Every missed practice raises new questions. Will I lose my rhythm? Will I be able to come back? Will everything we've worked for disappear? Those were the kinds of uncertainties Riku Miura and Ryuichi Kihara quietly faced while the world stood still. Living in Canada during the pandemic meant they were physically together, yet emotionally separated from everything familiar. Their families were thousands of miles away, their future remained uncertain, and the ice that had shaped their lives was suddenly inaccessible. Looking back today, it is easy to admire the Olympic champions they eventually became, but at that moment there was no guarantee that those dreams would ever become reality. Every athlete around the world was forced to adapt, but adaptation doesn't erase fear. It simply teaches people how to carry it. Listening to Riku describe those months, it became impossible to ignore just how much emotional weight she had been carrying behind the scenes. The woman who would later stand proudly on the Olympic podium had once spent countless days wondering when she would even be able to skate again. that realization changes the way her entire journey is viewed. Great champions are often remembered for extraordinary performances, but their greatest victories are frequently the invisible ones no audience ever witnesses. As Riku continued speaking, her words became even more personal. She explained that there were many days when she felt discouraged, trapped inside her home while the outside world remained uncertain. Like millions of people during those difficult years, she searched for something that could provide comfort when nothing else seemed predictable. For her, music became that refuge. Every time she listened to Ryokuoushoku Shakai's song, it reminded her that difficult seasons eventually pass. The song didn't erase the pandemic, reopen the skating rinks, or remove the loneliness she experienced, but it gave her enough strength to face another day. Sometimes hope arrives in surprisingly simple forms, and in her case it arrived through a melody that quietly reminded her not to give up. Hearing those words carried tremendous emotional weight because they stripped away every layer of celebrity surrounding an Olympic champion. Instead of speaking as a gold medalist, she was speaking as someone who had experienced fear, disappointment, and isolation just like everyone else. That honesty created an immediate connection with viewers because it reflected emotions that countless families around the world had also experienced during the pandemic. Many people found comfort in books, films, conversations, or music while living through those uncertain years. Riku simply happened to share the song that carried her through her own darkest moments. Knowing that someone capable of reaching the highest level of international sport had relied on the same emotional support as ordinary people made her story remarkably relatable. It reminded everyone that resilience isn't about pretending to be fearless. It's about continuing forward despite uncertainty. As powerful as her confession already was, nobody inside the television studio realized the biggest surprise had yet to unfold. While Riku expressed her gratitude toward the band that had unknowingly helped her through the pandemic, the production team revealed that the interview itself had been building toward a hidden surprise. Suddenly, members of Ryokuoushoku Shakai appeared inside the studio. The atmosphere changed instantly. What had begun as a recorded interview transformed into an unforgettable live reunion between an Olympic champion and the musicians whose work had quietly supported her through one of life's most difficult chapters. The moment Riku realized they were standing there, her expression changed completely. Shock quickly gave way to overwhelming emotion. Holding back tears became impossible. Fighting through those emotions, she thanked them with complete sincerity, explaining that their music had truly saved her during those lonely months when she spent so much time isolated inside her home. These weren't carefully rehearsed television comments designed to create dramatic entertainment. They were heartfelt words that had clearly been waiting years to be spoken directly to the people who had unknowingly made such a profound difference in her life. Watching someone who had remained so composed throughout countless international competitions suddenly become overwhelmed by gratitude created one of the most memorable scenes of the entire broadcast. The audience wasn't witnessing an athlete celebrating victory. They were witnessing a person finally meeting the people who had helped carry her through hardship without ever realizing it. Social media reacted almost immediately after the broadcast aired. Fans flooded online platforms describing the emotional scene as one of the most touching television moments of the year. Many viewers admitted they had never expected to see Riku cry so openly, especially over something unrelated to figure skating itself. Some wrote that she appeared even more emotional than she had during her Olympic victory, while others said the scene perfectly demonstrated how deeply music can influence people's lives. Many fans shared their own memories of discovering comfort through songs during the pandemic, creating a wave of personal stories inspired by Riku's honesty. Instead of discussing technical skating elements or championship results, conversations centered around gratitude, resilience, and the invisible emotional connections music creates between strangers. The official social media accounts associated with Ryokuoushoku Shakai also shared behind-the-scenes photographs from the recording, showing the band standing alongside Riku Miura and Ryuichi Kihara with warm smiles after the emotional surprise had concluded. Those images captured something that statistics and medals never could. They showed genuine appreciation flowing in both directions. The musicians discovered that one of Japan's greatest athletes had leaned on their songs during her hardest days. while Riku finally had the opportunity to personally thank the people whose music had quietly supported her journey. After the surprise introduction, the band performed the song live inside the studio. As the first notes filled the room, the atmosphere became remarkably still. Riku listened carefully, visibly moved as she heard the same melody that had once echoed through lonely days in Canada now being performed just a few feet away. It was no longer simply a song played through headphones in isolation. It had become a living reminder of everything she had overcome. Watching her reaction, many viewers couldn't help comparing those tears with the emotions she displayed after winning Olympic gold. Yet the two moments represented completely different kinds of victory. The tears on Olympic ice reflected years of sacrifice finally rewarded. The tears inside the television studio reflected years of gratitude finally expressed. One celebrated achievement, while the other honored survival. Both moments revealed different sides of the same remarkable journey. Looking at the story from a broader perspective, it also highlights the extraordinary influence music can have beyond entertainment. Songs often travel farther than the artists who create them ever realize. A melody written in one country can become someone else's source of courage halfway around the world. Lyrics intended for millions can end up speaking directly to one individual at exactly the right moment. That's precisely what happened here. Without ever meeting Riku Miura, the members of Ryokuoushoku Shakai unknowingly became part of her Olympic journey years before standing beside her on that television stage. Their music crossed borders, cultures, and circumstances, quietly reminding one isolated athlete that hope still existed. While international media understandably focused on Olympic results, world records, and championship performances, this emotional television moment remained largely a domestic story inside Japan. It wasn't global breaking news, nor was it intended to be. Yet sometimes the quietest stories leave the deepest impressions. For many Japanese viewers, this heartfelt exchange revealed something far more meaningful than another medal ceremony ever could. It showed that behind every historic achievement stands a human being who once needed encouragement just to keep believing. And perhaps that simple truth made this unforgettable moment even more powerful than victory itself. As moving as that television moment was, the story didn't end when the cameras stopped rolling. In many ways, it opened a new chapter in how fans viewed both Riku Miura and Ryuichi Kihara. For years, they had been admired primarily for their remarkable performances on the ice, their technical excellence, and the historic achievements that transformed Japanese pair skating. Their identity had been built around medals, scores, and unforgettable routines. But after this emotional confession, people began seeing something beyond the champions they had celebrated for so long. They saw two individuals who had quietly endured the same uncertainty, fear, and loneliness that millions around the world experienced during the pandemic. Suddenly, the Olympic gold medal felt less like the beginning of their story and more like the final destination of an incredibly difficult journey that very few people truly understood. Looking back, one of the most striking aspects of Riku's confession was its timing. Throughout her competitive career, she rarely allowed personal struggles to become part of the public conversation. Interviews almost always focused on training, competitions, goals, or technical improvements. Like many elite athletes, she maintained a professional image, carefully choosing her words and keeping private hardships away from the spotlight. That approach is understandable. During active competition, every public statement carries weight. Athletes often avoid discussing emotional vulnerability because they don't want distractions, unnecessary speculation, or additional pressure affecting their performance. Yet retirement changes that perspective. Once the competition is over and the constant pressure to protect every detail of your career disappears, it becomes easier to reflect honestly on experiences that once felt impossible to discuss. That is exactly what made this interview so meaningful. Riku wasn't speaking from the mindset of someone preparing for the next championship. She was finally looking back with honesty, sharing emotions that had remained hidden while she was still chasing Olympic dreams. That authenticity resonated deeply because it wasn't presented as a dramatic revelation. It simply felt like someone finally allowing herself to speak openly after carrying those memories in silence for years. The more people reflected on her words, the more they realized that this wasn't merely a story about music. It was a story about resilience, gratitude, and the invisible support systems that help people survive life's most uncertain moments. Every athlete reaches a point where physical ability alone is no longer enough. Mental strength becomes just as important, and mental strength is rarely built in isolation. It grows through encouragement, relationships, inspiration, and sometimes something as simple as hearing the right song at exactly the right moment. That reality extends far beyond sports. Everyone has something that quietly carries them through difficult seasons. For some, it is family. For others, it is faith, friendship, books, films, or music. Riku simply happened to reveal what carried her forward when everything around her seemed uncertain. That honesty reminded viewers that strength is not measured by pretending to never struggle. True strength often means acknowledging what helped you survive when life became overwhelming. Fans across Japan continued discussing the interview long after the broadcast ended. Many commented that while they had celebrated Riku's Olympic performances, hearing her personal story made them admire her even more. Winning medals requires extraordinary skill, but expressing sincere gratitude requires vulnerability. The emotional openness she displayed allowed people to connect with her on a much deeper level than any competition ever could. Others reflected on the universal experience of the pandemic itself. Nearly everyone remembered moments of uncertainty, isolation, canceled plans, and unanswered questions. Hearing an Olympic champion describe those same emotions reminded viewers that global crises affect everyone regardless of profession or achievement. Gold medals cannot protect someone from loneliness, and world-class talent cannot erase uncertainty. Those difficult years became a shared human experience, and Riku's story gave voice to feelings that many people had quietly carried themselves. Throughout all of this, Ryuichi Kihara's presence remained quietly significant. Although much of the attention naturally focused on Riku's emotional confession, his calm support never went unnoticed. Rather than interrupting, redirecting attention, or trying to explain her emotions himself, he simply allowed her to speak. His quiet smile and respectful presence reflected the trust that had defined their partnership throughout 7 remarkable years together. Sometimes the strongest form of support isn't found in speeches or dramatic gestures. Sometimes it simply means standing beside someone while allowing them the space to express what they feel. That quiet understanding has long been one of the defining qualities of their partnership, both on and off the ice. It is one reason so many fans have admired their relationship throughout their careers. Over the years, countless people have wondered whether their bond extends beyond figure skating. Questions about whether they are more than skating partners have followed them throughout much of their career. Time and again, reporters asked directly about their relationship, and time and again they responded with the same calm smile, encouraging people to draw their own conclusions rather than offering a definitive answer. That consistent response has naturally fueled curiosity among fans around the world. However, the truth remains exactly where it has always been, with Riku and Ryuichi themselves. Public appearances, emotional interviews, and years of partnership can certainly inspire admiration and speculation, but they do not provide confirmation about anyone's private life. What can be said with confidence is something even more meaningful. Their partnership has been built on extraordinary trust, mutual respect, and unwavering support through triumphs and setbacks alike. Whether facing injuries, international competition, or the unprecedented challenges of the pandemic, they continued moving forward together. That reality alone deserves appreciation without requiring assumptions about anything beyond what they themselves have chosen to share publicly. Perhaps that is why their story resonates so strongly with audiences. It is not because people need every question answered. It is because genuine trust is something everyone recognizes when they see it. Whether performing under the brightest lights at the Olympic Games or sitting together during an emotional television interview, the respect they show one another remains unmistakable. In many ways, that quiet partnership says more than any public explanation ever could. Looking back at everything that unfolded during that unforgettable broadcast, one message rises above everything else. Great achievements are never created by determination alone. Behind every victory stand countless unseen moments of encouragement, sacrifice, patience, and hope. Sometimes those moments come from family members. Sometimes they come from coaches, teammates, or close friends. And sometimes they arrive through the lyrics of a song written by people who never imagined where their music would eventually travel. Riku Miura's emotional confession reminded viewers that even the strongest people occasionally need something to lean on. There is no weakness in admitting that. In fact, acknowledging the people, experiences, and music that helped shape your journey may be one of the greatest signs of strength. Her tears did not diminish her accomplishments as an Olympic champion. They made those accomplishments even more meaningful because audiences finally understood just how difficult the road had truly been. The image of Olympic gold will always remain one of the defining moments of Riku Miura and Ryuichi Kihara's remarkable career. But for many viewers, another image now stands beside it, an athlete overcome with gratitude, thanking the musicians whose song carried her through the darkest days of uncertainty. One moment celebrated victory, the other celebrated hope. Together, they tell the complete story of two champions whose greatest legacy may extend far beyond medals, proving that resilience is not built alone, and that even the quietest acts of encouragement can help shape history in ways no one could ever predict.